Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and you can find more information about today's project on my blog at www.stampingwithhart.blogspot.com. Okay, so here are the products we are going to use for today's cards. The Beauty of Friendship stamp set, I'm only using for the sentiment, the thank you sentiment. This video is going to be about how to create a whole set of cards pretty easily, same layout, color coordinating. Now here is the Hello Harvest stamp set. We are going to be using the leaf from Hello Harvest. And I wanted to point out those little decorative stamps because I think they would go beautifully in between the leaves if you don't want to use the sequins. So totally up to you. We are also going to be using the Natural Finish ribbon. This is 7/8 of an inch. It is beautiful. It is absolutely perfect for fall. It also is going to add a really nice texture to your cards. I absolutely love the simplicity of this card and how all of the elements came together to give us the perfect sort of fall harvest theme for thank you cards, a whole set of thank you cards. But the star of the show, in my opinion, is the Gingham Designer Series paper and that die cut pumpkin. That die cut pumpkin is going to be from the Rustic Pumpkin dies, and that is part of the Hello Harvest bundle. Okay, so that's the stamp set. There is a pumpkin that you can stamp, and then there's a die that will cut out the stamped pumpkin, which is a little bit more on the round side. And there is this independent pumpkin die, really beautiful. This is more of a tall, thin pumpkin, and it has these really beautiful detailed embossing elements to it, including on the stem. So I had a lot of fun with this. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this video. I think you're going to enjoy these cards because we get to play with some colors that maybe we wouldn't think of necessarily for harvest. But once they came together, they looked right. You know, I thought it was so cute. Now here are those sequins. These are like a matte gold sequin. They are from a variety pack in the holiday or the mini catalog is what I should say. There's I believe they're called seasonal sequins or seasonal adhesive back sequins. I will put the actual title of the product up here on the screen because I can't think of it offhand, but it has red, green, white, and then those matte gold sequins. So we're also going to be using the stitched rectangle dies, but we're just going to be using this one size. And I will get you the measurement a little bit later. So when I started this video, these were the 3 samples that I had to show. And the colors are So Saffron, Calypso Coral, and Blushing Bride. And that was entirely following the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper colors. Okay, so here I decided, well, I actually made these cards from scratch right here on the video. So sometimes I'll have the card bases cut ahead of time. This time I needed to do the card bases in the video. I actually had a different card planned for this Facebook Live, but I'm going to do it on Thursday instead. So at the last minute, I changed to this card and I needed enough card bases to make 3 cards for this video. So the 3 colors that we're going to be working with in this video are Real Red, and I'm talking about the reverse sides here. So we have this large block gingham on one side, and then on the other side is the smaller gingham check. And on this side, it is red, the Real Red and basic white. And on the other side, it's all Real Red. Okay, so that strip was cut to 2 by 5.5. The coordinating cardstock is going to be cut to 2.5 by 5.5. And we're going to layer those pieces on to each other. We're going to cut a piece of that ribbon slightly over 5.5 inches. So I would say, you know, close to 6 inches so that you can wrap it around if you want to. If you don't want to wrap that ribbon, if you want your layers to lay straight, then maybe consider doing a little cut just above and below the pumpkin and trimming it there instead of wrapping it around. I like the clean look of wrapping the ribbon around as though it's a layer and an element of the card, just like cardstock or designer series paper. Okay, so here's the measurement on that that stitched rectangle die cut. It was 2 1/4 by, I think, 3 9/16. It was the one right past 3.5 inches, which I can never remember those offhand, which is why I have my ruler. Now the next part of this is die cutting our pieces, and you can see I'm starting to gather those pieces. So we're going to use basic white for the rectangle. We're going to use soft suede for every pumpkin for the stem, and we're going to use the coordinating cardstock, in this case real red, for that pretty decorative die cut pumpkin. Okay, so these were so fun to make. So this is going to be the real red version of the card. I also have a mint macaron version of the card coming up, and stay tuned to the end because that is when I do the black and orange version of the card. They all turned out so cute. And I mean, you guys can vote on your favorite. Let me know in the comments what your favorite color of this card is. And if you like them all, it's okay to say that you like them all. But if there's one in particular that you're very drawn to, please let me know, because I love to hear from you, and I love to hear what you think of either the traditional fall colors versus non-traditional. I was asking this question on the actual live, and I got a whole variety of answers. And in the end, I had people vote on their favorite colors, and everybody had different favorites, which I just thought was so wonderful. Somebody picked red, a couple of people picked black and orange, some picked mint macaron. So I would love to hear from you if you would like to share. Okay, so I wanted to point out that Season of Chic, this is a different stamp set. It also has a really beautiful leaf stamp. So if you happen not to have the Hello Harvest bundle, go through your stash, see what fall leaf stamps that you have on hand. Or I wanted to refer to at least one other alternate set that you could use a leaf from if you want to stick to this pattern. So the basic layout of this card, and I didn't change it, is 3 leaves stamped on the right hand side. And then we're going to put the strip that we just cut on the left. So we're going to layer those on. For the most part, I wanted to stick to the red and white side. I wanted to do the side that had the pop of basic white, but with the mint macaron card, I ended up switching to the smaller check version. I think that that's what people voted for. And I loved how that card turned out. I wasn't expecting to like that color for the pumpkin, but it's just funny how when you start playing around with the coordinating colors and you start doing a card set with a theme, they just really can turn out, they can surprise you. Even if the card has the same exact layout, it can really surprise you. So here is where I'm wrapping my ribbon around the edges, but that might not be for everyone. So that's why I wanted to give you an alternate idea there. So I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus, and then I'm going a little bit overboard with adding additional glue, but just because I have that little specialty piece wrapping around, I want to make sure that that's secure on the card. But again, if you want your card to lie flat, that's no problem either. And you don't have to use the ribbon if you really want to show off that gingham paper, or you could use a thinner ribbon and it might show off the pattern a little bit more. But I just love the texture and the color element. It really kind of gave it that rustic feeling to me. With the style of the stamp, the artwork of the leaf, looking a little bit distressed, or, like an incomplete image. I thought that was really cool. Now, I wanted to give a shout out to the Leaf and Label Amber Gem Combo Pack, because I will be using the Amber Gems a little bit later. But if you wanted to use the leaf as your centerpiece instead of the pumpkin, how beautiful would those be as cards in this layout, in this format too? So now I'm adding my sequins. I decided to add the small sequins, 4 of them in between my leaves. And I just thought it gave it that nice little subtle sparkle touch. But you use your favorite embellishments. I definitely recommend these sequins if you don't already have them. I think that they are absolutely Beautiful. So again, this is a fairly simple, card layout. There's not too much to it, easy to replicate. Now, one of my favorite things were these decorative dies that come as part of the rustic pumpkins. And I didn't have the pieces die cut to show in the video, so it's so hard to show the actual die. So these are what they were cut out to look like. These are 2 cards that I have for a class that I'm doing, but I was at least able to show the piece. So if you want to add those fancier elements to your pumpkin, you can absolutely do that. It would look stunning on these cards. So this is our mint macaron version of the card. I'm going to do the same exact measurements here, where we're going to do 2 by 5.5 for the designer series paper, 2.5 by 5.5 for the cardstock. We're going to cut our ribbon at just about the same length. I didn't have an exact measurement on it. I was just sort of eyeballing it. We're going to die cut all of our pieces exactly the same way as we've done previously. And we're going to do our stamping in the same spot too. And I really needed a set of thank you cards. So you could also tell me in the comments if you would like to share, what is your most in demand card? What cards do you send the most of? Happy birthday, get well, thinking of you, thank you, or holiday like Christmas, or let me know in the comments if you would like to share. I keep running really low on my thank you cards. So I wanted to deliberately make a whole set of thank you cards, and I wanted a very clean, simple thank you. Just, very direct and to the point. Sometimes I like those longer, fancier sentiments, and sometimes I literally just want the greeting. And for these cards, I thought it was more appropriate just to have that greeting. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Beauty of Friendship stamp set so much. It's so useful in so many ways, including the typeset that we have for that particular font for those phrases that are so needed. So here's our mint macaron version. Even the leaves I thought were so cool. I loved how they turned out. And you're going to see the pumpkin coming together here. But let me talk about a few things while I'm putting this together. And ignore that little black kitty cat. But for those of you who like to pay attention to that little kitty cat, because you're going to see it on Thursday if you're on the Facebook Live, and you'll see it on Friday if you watch the YouTube replays. But yeah, so it somehow made its way onto my table there, and you're like, where did that black cat come from? I have no idea what I was doing that it ended up on the table. So anyway, there's your little sneak peek for Thursday. And it's going to be a Halloween card, by the way. So what I wanted to say here was, let me talk about a few things that we have going on. As I am doing the recording for this video, it is August 15th, Monday, August 15th, 2022. And we are halfway through the month of August, which means we only have 15 days, or I think 16 days left of Sale-a-Bration. So I have all of the shop link information. If you would like to shop and earn your free Sale-a-Bration rewards until August 31st, definitely do that, because when you spend 50 or 100 with a qualifying purchase before tax, of course, you can earn free product. And Stampin' Up recently added to what free products you can choose as your Sale-a-Bration rewards. And I'm talking metallic papers, absolutely beautiful, usable things coming up for all of your holiday cards, or for your most requested card, the card that you mail out the most. So keep that in mind. There's a lot that you can choose from, but Sale-a-Bration is going to be ending soon, and I don't want anybody to miss out on those free rewards. If there was something that you had your eye on, now is the time. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the card for a minute, and we'll talk a little bit more about Sale-a-Bration in just a minute. This is the Halloween/fall version of this card. I had to do a pumpkin pie version of the card, and I decided to do the pumpkin pie version with the black and white check. And as a matter of fact, I had people vote on whether they wanted to see the black and white or the black and gray pattern, and they chose black and white. So we really did sort of stick with the theme, but it's up to you in terms of what you want to use. Keep in mind that the Gingham Cottage paper has a lot of different colors that you can choose from. And I don't have it in front of me right at this moment, But I think the pumpkin pie is one of the options for the designer series paper. So you can stay true to the theme, but I did decide to incorporate the black and white for this particular card. They also voted on the small check versus the large check, which is why I used that side. So I'm stamping in pumpkin pie. The pumpkin itself is going to be in pumpkin pie cardstock, but the pops of color from the designer series paper and the cardstock layer are in black and white. And of course we stuck with our ribbon, and oh my gosh, do I love the way that it turned out. And then instead of using the sequins on this card, I switched to the amber gems, which again was a choice that I gave the audience, and they chose the amber gems, which I was thrilled about because it was a different way to sort of see the card. So if you like the more sparkly gems or the rhinestones, then you get a really good look at what that looks like on the card. Okay, so in the end here, I'm going to show you all of the colors of the cards at the same time. And I'm just pointing out the gems versus the sequins here. So totally up to you what you want to use, but I love the sparkle on that. Love the way that that card turned out. So here is your chance to vote on your favorite color. As I'm laying them all out, I'll go through all of the colors one more time. And you can let me know what your thoughts are. So we have Calypso Coral, Blushing Bride, So Saffron, Mint Macaron, Real Red, and then Pumpkin Pie and Black. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. I do crafting tutorials and different card ideas every week. I also do paper pumpkin alternate videos. And when you like, comment, share, or subscribe, that tells YouTube and it tells me that you like what you're seeing and to make more of it. So just keep that in mind. The last thing that I want to mention is that if you are interested in joining Stampin' Up, that Making Plans collection, which is available as part of Sale-a-Bration free, also ends August 31st. If you have any questions, direct message me or send me an email. Have a great day.